Hello. So I want to try and do a reading today on our calling. So this reading is going to be something like all of the clarity that can be offered at this point um, on your calling. I don't know if I believe that anybody can tell you your calling. I don't know if that's really possible because I feel like it's based so much on information that only you would have access to. But I think that we can probably get clarity and insight, and then you can apply it in the way that you know how to apply it to your life based off of what has been prominent for you. And yeah, I'm hoping this is helpful. I'm hoping this is helpful for me too. So we're going to see. I haven't really checked in to see if this is even a reading I should be doing, so I'll do that. And then if it is, then we'll do this one. Okay, Spirit. So, can we do a reading on clarity with for our callings? And I also want to do a dream reading. Oh, Is this a yes or a no? We got the devil. Could be a yes. Doesn't have to be a no. Oh, I mean, there's a lot of personal power here. Okay, I actually do think we can do this reading. I just think it's going to be a little bit different. So what I will say, and I can relate to this as well, is I think right now there's probably a lot of confusion and anxiety and worry around trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. So if you are on your calling path, there might be a couple of different options popping up for you right now. I don't feel like any of them are particularly specific. Like, I'm not sure any of them are like screaming out to you of like, oh, this is your calling. But there just seems to be opportunities like around, circling you, around in business or career, like something like that. And there's ideas popping up. I don't know if anything's sticking though, is the thing. And it feels like there's always like if there's one thing that's revealed to you, there's always two things that you don't know that make you feel shaky or insecure or unsettled in the energy of what you do know. Hanged Man and the Tower. These are things that are being hidden from you. So like you're in the Nine of Cups energy right now, but what's being hidden is the Tower and the Hanged Man. And these are two, it's like you can see far ahead enough to know that at some point you will be happy and you will kind of have more of a solid understanding and a solid connection to what it is that you're supposed to be doing. But before that happens, it's interesting because I'm not sure if they're saying before that happens, you're going to go through the Tower and the Hanged Man, or if you've had to go through the Tower and the Hanged Man to get to the Nine of Cups. I don't know. Because we just had the Eight of Cups come out. Walk, change, and shift. Yeah, because there's just a lot. There's a lot going on. And there's this energy of taking off your thinking cap. Like, you might be thinking too hard about this. And it's interesting because I understand this as well. There's this energy of being too contemplative, of being too introspective, of being too investigative. Like, you're really trying to figure this thing out. And it seems kind of pointless because if you're not meant to figure it out, you're not going to. Like, you're not going to, get one over on the spirit world. Like, you're just, and I get it because I too am doing the exact same thing right now. But you're not going to be able to do that. So there's this energy of like, what you need to walk away from is trying to get this answer, trying to get this breakthrough. I think there needs to be a level of acceptance about the fact that you don't know. Like, you don't know where you are, you don't know what you're doing. I think you also need to accept that you're not comfortable in this Nine of Cups energy. Because Nine of Cups isn't Nine of Pentacles. So it's not like, it's not, what's it called? It's not necessarily monetary fulfillment and all of these things. It's just this settled emotion within yourself. Like, you feel happy being within your own energy. You feel proud of yourself. You feel supported in your own personal energy, which you can feel and still also feel chaotic in the world. But there's this level of like discomfort in the Nine of Cups because you can see all these other things in the background, but it's like shadows of them that you can see. Then we have the Six of Swords here. Yeah, it's just kind of like this process of trying to find something in the dark. Like, you're looking and you're looking and you're looking, and it's the Hanged Man. Like, you're hanging there and you're trying to figure out what's going on as you're hanging there. Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles in this one always makes me think of like a teacher, or like a kindergarten teacher, which is interesting because it's like serious work that you're doing, but it doesn't feel serious, and you might not feel like you're being taken seriously right now, especially if you're in the Hanged Man, because you're just kind of like swinging there, just waiting to see if something picks up, and it feels. It can feel kind of pointless. Like, you can kind of feel like there's no purpose here, and especially if you're charged up with energy to explore something, that can be very upsetting and annoying because it's just like, what am I doing? What is being done? Is there a point to any of this? It feels like it's all just a bunch of fun and games, but it's almost like you don't want to have fun and you don't want to play. You want to be serious and you want to work. And the energy is like, no, we want to like relax and have fun. And it's like, but I don't want to do that. And it's funny because you're literally in conflict with like playful energy. Like, it might be that your inner child right now is just trying to relax. And you're like, can you go do that somewhere else? I'm trying to do this. It's kind of Four of Cups energy. Seven of Cups just came out. But it's like you're wasting your time because all the things that you're trying to investigate and you feel like you've got a lead on are just like illusions. They're not, it's nothing. It's just like something that you're being given to fill your head with things to think about because you're not going to be given the answer that you're seeking. Like, it's clearly just not time. So instead, you're wasting your energy focusing on a bunch of random things. And feeling like it's a breakthrough and then getting disappointed when you don't have a breakthrough. But like, you've already been told that you're not going to be given the answer yet. So it's like you do it to yourself. But I understand because you have this explorer energy and it's very hard to let go of that. I think that right now you need to figure out how to get that energy out in different ways and utilize that in a different way. In a way that can also be playful and engage your inner child in some type of way to kind of work with two different energies at the same time. Because you've got this playful thing, but it almost feels like it really feels like you're detached from that. It feels like that's the inner child just like bouncing around off the walls. And you're like, I'm trying to figure this thing out. Like, I need to focus on this. And you're being so serious. And the inner child is like, but I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I don't want to do anything serious, and blah, blah, blah. And that's coming up against like your investigator energy, which is really coming through with the Page of Swords. But it's all kind of hopeless in terms of you like trying to have fun and do this because you have not figured out what you're supposed to be doing yet. And you're not going to. It doesn't seem like right now you're about to get any type of answer. It feels like you're in the waiting game. And there really just has to be a level of acceptance around that. I don't know when this answer is going to come through. They probably won't even tell us that. Like, I'm in the same boat as you. It's very hard. It's very hard, and it's very confusing and annoying. Because it's like literally the answer is just wait, and it feels like we're always waiting. So I get it. You don't have to tell me. We just had the Two of Wands come out. Plans, partnership, influence. I never really know what to do with the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands and the Two of Pentacles, I just never know what to do with. I'm just like, you know, it just doesn't, I don't know what to do with it. It just kind of feels like you're trying to take charge of something that doesn't need help. Like, like you're just trying to keep yourself busy, and I get it. Because there's just this restless energy. It's like you're waiting for, like, if you know that a trip is coming up in the future, and until then you have to wait for the trip to come, and, like, it's just so boring and so annoying. You're just trying to fill your time, but you're just, like, so annoyed. And you're bored, and you're like, what the fuck? It's actually super funny, to be honest. And it's interesting because I don't think you're doing anything wrong. Like, this is probably just exactly what you're supposed to be feeling. And it's just like, and I feel like actually during this time, you're probably receiving a lot of healing, and kind of feels like you're just under construction, like under surgery, with like your angels and your guides, and they're like doing things to help you and prepare you, and you're like wiggling there and just like, I want to go do this, I want to, and you're like trying to ask them a bunch of questions, but they're not speaking to you, they're just doing their work on you, and you're like, tell me about this, I mean, they're like not telling you. And so, like, I'm sure you probably are going through the motions, because this Nine of Swords doesn't feel like anxiety so much as it just feels like a mind that's very active. Like, you're really trying to think, you're really trying to figure things out, and it's like all these dead ends, and you feel like Sherlock Holmes. But yeah, then you have the Fool. Yeah, I feel like we're on the precipice of a new beginning. I don't know. I don't say that with a lot of hope just because it's like, girl, like, we've heard it all before. But I feel like we're on the precipice of a new beginning. Like, I feel like it's right there, and it's just a matter of time. This Ace of Pentacles has continued to come through, so it could be the Ace of Pentacles, which is a grounded idea, like chance, opportunity. It's just a pentacle, though, and pentacles is, you know, you have to keep balance. Pentacles are slow energy. But it does, even with the Knight of Cups coming out, it does feel like something is about to be brought forward. Something is about to happen. It feels like you've got 1 foot out, 1 foot in. Like, if you're in the middle of surgery, you're like 50% done. Or like even 75%, even like 80%. But you've still got some work to do. And it's not really work that you have to do. It's work that your spirit team is doing on you, is almost what it feels like, in order for you to move forward. Because it's like you're going to need like certain skills or just certain gifts or a certain awareness or certain armor, whatever. But until then, you just can't really move. Yeah. Let's move on. We'll start with the Fool, I guess. Maybe we can ask where this Fool is leading us, but would we even get an answer? That is the question. Would we even get an answer? I don't know. Hold on. I have to like try and space this stuff out. Yeah. And you feel very comfortable and ready to jump. Like, I don't feel like there's any resistance from you in terms of entering this new space. I feel like you're more than ready. It's just like, it's not time yet, and you're trying to jump, and it's like, it's not time yet, girl. Like, and they're not going to let you jump, like, because obviously they have your best interest at heart, so they're not going to let you do something that doesn't make sense. So, and if you're on your calling path, as much as this is you walking the path, you are very much so being supported by the universe, which means, like, you have free will, but, like, to a certain extent, because you're on the calling, and you've answered the calling, and you've chosen, and there's no going back if you're this deep in. So, like, you do have to listen. You do have to wait. Like, it just is what it is. And your free will understands that. Like, you're in alignment in the sense that you've already decided that there will be no other path but this path. So even if your free will, like your free will wouldn't even take you off this path, because even your free will is in agreement that this is where we're going, you know? So it's just kind of like, at times you can feel trapped, but you're not trapped. You're willingly hanging here. You're willingly staying here. You're just annoyed while you're doing it, because it's just like, this is fucking annoying and boring, and I want to know exactly what I'm supposed to do. And you want to be doing the work, which is a really great sign, because you want to be doing your work. You want to be on your path. You want to be, you know, dealing with it. But right now you're in the Page of Cups, like you're just a kid, is basically what the energy is. And it's like kids who want to grow up, you know, and want to be like a teenager, and want to be well, it's actually more like a teenager, a young teenager, like a 14-year-old that wants to be an adult. That's kind of the energy. And it's like, you're not there yet. You know, you've still got some more things to do, which is just so irritating. But even just getting a job, it's like wanting to get your first job before you've got that. It's just this dreamy energy, and you just want to like be busy, and you want your life to be filled with magic and wonderful things. And it is, and you've got that playful energy, but again, it's just like any teenager. It's hard to feel all playful and fun all the time, because you're also so moody and hormonal. And this is kind of like a similar energy in the phase of your spiritual journey, where you're like a tween and you're just going through puberty. And so even though you're young and like you've got all this vibrant energy, you don't recognize it as that, and it's hard to enjoy it that way, because you can just feel that there's something more that you want to do with your life and with your time, and you're not doing it yet, so you're frustrated. And I think that this is just a natural part of the journey. I really don't think you should judge yourself. I don't think you should pressure yourself to like try and play and blah, blah, blah. I think you probably do it enough. Try and take at least some time out to enjoy yourself, but I wouldn't like judge yourself if you're not able, if you're just grumpy and you're not able to, you know, get that fun energy out, because that's just life. Like, you're not gonna eat just because somebody's telling you to play and have fun doesn't mean you're gonna play and have fun. You know, like being grumpy, being a brat, being annoyed, being frustrated, being irritated is all a part of being human and being in the spiritual work. And you should feel that way. If you feel that way, don't like try and force yourself to be the jumping for joy inner child. You know, you can't let yourself be ruled by different parts of yourself. Whatever you actually feel is what you feel. Just let that be felt. Don't judge yourself for it. At least from my perspective, because I think trying to force away feelings that you feel and replace them with things that are seemingly better for you, to me, I've just noticed adds to this suppression energy. And either way, those feelings are gonna come back up because you're feeling them, you know? So, and it's only because you're thinking, you know, there's something more for me. You can feel that there's something more for you. And that's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Keep feeling that way. Two of Wands. Okay, so we had the moon came out, which I think was just talking about all those shadow feelings, letting them shine, because it's a full moon. Howling at the moon, letting it all out. Oh! Like, just let it out. Let out your emotions. It's okay. We all understand. We all get it. Yeah, it's hard being the hermit. It's hard being on a journey. It's hard being on a spiritual journey, but it's also so much fun, because you know there is going to be a breakthrough at some point. We just don't know when. We just don't know what it is. And you can't, you know, outdo your spirit team. They will hide it from you if you're not meant to know it right now. Which is so annoying. But yeah. So then we had the moon, then we had the mother star. Yes, come out. Then we had the Two of Wands and Strength, which I actually thought was the sun. I don't know if I thought Strength was the sun, but they are both Leo, so. But yeah, Two of Wands again. Two of Wands here again. Two of Wands here just makes me feel like, it's again, I don't know what to do with this energy. I know what Two of Wands is. It's this energy of like, will I stay or will I go, you know? Going out on this journey, trying to decide this contemplative path. Plans, partnership, influence. I think the Two of Wands is funky energy, not in a bad way, it's just funky. It's funky energy because it can be many things, which I think is adding to that like confusion energy, like Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups to me is kind of similar to Two of Wands in that, especially in this deck, in the sense that it's kind of a lot of things. Especially because you're not moving yet. With Two of Wands, you're planning, but you're not really necessarily on the go yet. You're like deciding, am I going to be on the go? And I feel like you've already decided that, yes, you're going to be on the go. So now you're trying to like make all these plans and decide all these things, blah, blah. And that's where strength comes in, because you don't necessarily need courage. You need strength to stay put. You need strength to stay still and not run off and go do something else, because you have this energy and this momentum of wanting to move. And so having the strength to reel in that energy and hold it and wait for the right thing to come along. Because Two of Wands is like you've already decided that you want to go. Strength is like, I know I have the courage. I know I'm brave enough. I want to do this. So you have all these plans. You're pursuing all these things. Two of Wands. You're looking at different partnerships, different collaborations, different job offers, whatever. You're looking at all of these. But strength is self-control, not just attaching your hook to the first thing you see, or even the seventh or eighth thing you see because it looks great and because of blah, 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 blah. Because ultimately, you know you're waiting for a specific feeling. And this feeling is something that can't be replaced and it can't be faked because you're on your calling path. So this is something that is specific and direct and you're just waiting to figure it out. I also think that something that's probably frustrating and empowering is I think you've probably been receiving hints. Probably like in your dreams, maybe through diving into magic work, like through tarot readings and other things, you might be receiving hints that you're going to receive more information soon, or that you're being led somewhere. I don't think you're necessarily receiving hints on like what this is, but you might be receiving hints and even delving into the past to find hints. You're just like in investigative energy, and I feel like your spirit team is indulging you with that energy, probably maybe through your dreams and things like that. But I definitely don't think that they're offering up the information yet, to be completely honest. So then, after strength, we have the Ace of Wands and we have the Hierophant. Again, I just get this sense of like there's all these opportunities being offered. There's these options being offered, and you're kind of sitting here meditating on it, and you're just waiting, and that's what I mean when it's like you're holding yourself in the Hanged Man, because you know that you need to be, because you know that the feeling has not been fulfilled yet. These options that have come along are not it. It's great to have an abundance of options, but then it becomes difficult because it's like you're not even making a choice yet, because there's not really any choices here. There's just an abundance of options. You know what I mean? And that becomes really frustrating, because then you're like, is there something wrong with me? Am I not pursuing things? Am I holding myself back? And you know that you're not. Like, your spirit team is not making you feel like you are. There's no rush to like take one of these things on, but as they come and go and time passes by, you're feeling like, what the hell is going on? Am I crazy? Am I wasting time? But the Hierophant is here, and it's like, it's the same as the Strength card in the sense that it's like, I'm going to stay put. I'm going to trust the information that I'm being given, which is not a lot of information other than stay put. And so, yeah, and with the Hierophant comes the spiritual work that comes with standing still, which is a lot of grief, because movement helps us to burn through things. It's like Wands energy. Movement helps us to keep going and have excitement and make us feel alive, but stillness is attached to death, and that can come up. That can create a lot of mourning. That can make us feel trapped. That can make us feel anxious. 9 of Swords, 8 of Swords. That can make us feel at a loss. That can just be very, very frustrating, and it can be very triggering to stand so still in your life when you want to move, and especially when you are the one keeping yourself still. And I feel like what you need to rely on at this time are your passions and your pursuits, things that you can do to let out that energy of that desire to move. Wherever you can let that spring forward, you kind of need to use those outlets, use your creative outlets. Yeah. It's interesting with Page of Pentacles here. It's like you have something to offer and you are aware of that. I think that what you have to offer, you feel like an amateur in, not a prima donna. I feel like you feel like an amateur in. And so sometimes I think, though, prima donna, with the way that you feel like an amateur, even though you're not an amateur, it's just that you might come across as, you might either be like literally just young, or you might feel very young in your field or in your passion, but you come with actually a lot of wisdom. You have the Hierophant here, and right below the Hierophant you have the High Priestess here. So you're backed by a lifetimes of wisdom, lifetimes of talent and skill. But the way that you feel like an amateur and yet you have this drive to be recognized, because I feel this desire to be recognized, to be seen, to be called forward, to have somebody pursue you with an offer, like you want to be pursued, you want to be approached, you want to be called in to this space, could also probably make you feel like a bit of a prima donna, and there could probably be some shame or some guilt coming up around wanting so bad to be needed and to be called forward, which there's nothing to be ashamed of. You want to pursue your path. You want to pursue your calling. That is all that, your spirit team is ever asking for you to want to do this. And you want to do it so badly that it causes a lot of grief with the Five of Cups. And it can cause a lot of anxiety with the Nine of Swords. It causes so many emotions because you just so badly want this. You're so passionate for this, which is how you know that you are meant for this, whatever it is, even if you don't know what it is yet. And I would imagine with this, you might not know exactly what it is. You might have guesses but there could probably be several guesses in several different fields. It's probably confusing. So, yeah, but you're not a prima donna. You're not being dramatic. It's completely understanding why you're in such distress over this. And it's very teenage energy, the teenage angst of it all, about your life and wanting to make a difference and wanting to be empowered. But there's so much power in that because you feel so strongly and you're passionate and you care. To care is never something to be ashamed of. To care is the most brilliant gift that you could ever offer the world and that you could ever keep within yourself and hold on to. Hold on to that feeling of caring and of desiring this so much and of yearning for this and for wanting this. It's meaningful and it's important and it's okay. Again, you have the Eight of Cups. Again, though, you don't want to run yourself ragged, okay? So when you can, take your breaks. When you can, take your thinking cap off. But there's also this energy of maybe there are times where you need to let go of the physical world and just be in the spiritual world. And it's not necessarily because you're going to receive a whole lot, but maybe you just need to let yourself spend more time in the spiritual. So you could be just engaging, you could be meditating, you could just be spending time visualizing and fantasizing and thinking about this thing, not attached to movement in the physical. So instead of you going on hunts for job offers and blah, 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 maybe you're just spending time building your Pinterest board, your mood board about how these things will make you feel, or how your dreams being accomplished will make you feel. Maybe you're spending time dancing in this energy of getting this offer, meeting these people, blah, blah, blah. Just things that are more dreamy and spiritual, but not grounded in action because the action can't be taken yet. And so it's like you're holding on to all of these things, ready to pursue it or ready to battle, ready to fight, but there's nothing to do. So then you're just giving yourself pain and anguish, just sitting here waiting. So if you just let that go, but then allow yourself to still be in that world of engaging with this higher self or this knowledge that you know that you want to pursue, this path that you want to pursue by creating a dream board or by fantasizing, by having conversations with your spirit team, because they'll talk to you about how much you want this and how much you're feeling. They'll talk to you about all of that. Actually, I probably should just do it like this and then just get it shuffled that way. They'll talk to you about all of that. They just won't engage you in, what's it called? In spending too much of your, they're not going to tell you where to go yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not time to tell you where to go. But they can talk to you about how you're feeling. And you can talk to others about how you're feeling. You can share your voice and your story. Talk to your friends about how tough this is. If you have friends, you can talk to about this. If you don't, go on YouTube and watch readings and, humor yourself. Humor yourself and humor your dreams. Humor this energy because it's real energy and it's gaining momentum. And until you can actually do what you need to do and move where you need to move, you've got to find a way to fill this energy up and get it out your system. So yeah, humor yourself in those ways, but don't take action in the physical because there's no action to take. So you'll just be, making your body all physical and tired. So yeah. Okay. What else? Yeah, but like, when is this coming through? And it's like all these like false senses of hope. And all of this false hope it's part of the process. It's like a baby, like Braxton Hicks. It's like Braxton Hicks. Right before you give birth, you experience some women, not everybody, some people experience Braxton Hicks, which is this feeling like you're gonna give birth, but then nothing happens. And they're like, sorry, sweetie, your body's just preparing. This angst and all of this emotion, and even when things start to pop up and it's like, oh my God, here it is. Think about it like it's Braxton Hicks. This is the universe preparing to give you what you need. It's not a test. It's not like a pass-fail. You can't pass or fail Braxton Hicks. It's just like they're running things out. These are trials. It's like the rehearsal night, like before a wedding, right? So it's all these things that you're prepping to make sure that when the real thing comes, it comes correctly, everything's prepared. It's even time, it's giving you time to prepare, giving you time to see how you react to things, and not because they're trying to critique you, but probably to show you how much you've grown. Like, I've had a few things come up recently where I'm like, oh, this is the thing, and then it doesn't end up being the thing. And being able to see how it doesn't make my world fall apart, and how I'm able to react to things with grace and confidence and carry myself a certain way and have a certain level of belief in myself through these things are making me see that I really am ready to receive what I want to receive. And I don't know when I'm going to receive that, but I know that, number one, my world isn't falling apart because I don't have it yet. I'm not basing my entire worth on this thing. Do I want it really bad? Yeah, I want it really, really, really bad. But it doesn't eat me up at night. It's not destroying me. It's not killing me. It's not something that I can't live with. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to live without it, but I can live without it, and I can make a life for myself, and my life isn't miserable because I don't have this thing, even if at times I feel miserable. That's just how I feel because I don't want to be here. I want to be where I want to be. But I'm not actually miserable, and I'm not like this the entire day for days on end. This doesn't overtake me. There are feelings that I go through, and then I move through it, and I work through it, and I try and, this is me and my investigator energy. I'm doing these readings trying to get an answer, and I'm not getting the answers that I want, but it is nice to connect with this energy and know that, for one, I'm not the only one feeling this way, and just to work through it together and to have community through that. So, Braxton Hicks, they're empathetic things. They're things of the universe just trying to, let you know it's coming. These are signals, they're signs, things are showing up. It's just not ready yet. It's just not here yet. It's on its way. It's just not here yet, which is okay. Then we have the King of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. The King of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. It feels like emotionally like going through a lot. kind of putting you in an emotional tailspin. But actually, no. What it actually feels like is that you're on pretty solid ground emotionally, despite all of the changes, despite all of the shifting, despite the way that things are constantly transforming, and what you thought was going to be the thing isn't the thing, and what you thought was going to put you somewhere doesn't put you somewhere. But still, you remain grounded, and still you remain steadfast in this sense of knowing that you've got a calling, knowing that you're on a path. I think that's something to be celebrated. Like, you're not being tripped up by the Wheel of Fortune. You're not being tripped up by fate and by these different ideas of what will be. You know, you're not being tripped up in allowing things that look like you to make you think that this is for you. You can see clearly. You're seeing very, very clearly. You've got a clear head, despite the 9 of Swords and the 8 of Swords. None of that overwhelms you. You still, even in all the confusion, the fact that you are waiting means that you actually cannot be moved. You cannot be moved into a place of fear where you then act on that fear and self-sabotage. That's not where you are anymore. And I think that there's a lot of celebration around that energy as well. Because when the Wheel of Fortune comes around, you can accept where it stops, or you can keep it spinning. And you've decided to keep it spinning, even though it's landed on many different things that you could have taken up. You're not doing that. You're not allowing yourself to be pulled in by temptation of getting out of this stillness, that you just go and you just pursue whatever. You are allowing yourself to wait in the dark, wait with your fears about what if this doesn't happen, wait with all the voices that come in, all the voices in your head, all the fears, all the worry, wait with it, sit with all of the defensiveness, sit with all of these mirrors, all these things that show you aspects of yourself, and not get triggered by it. You're simply sitting with it, and you're like, hello, see you, hey, see you. And maybe sometimes you do get triggered and you get into an argument and you scream and you shout and you're mad, but you're not moving from this place. And that's the point. The consistency of this message is a sign of your growth, because you're actually, you're not stagnant. You're not stagnant. You're cycling through all of these emotions again and again, but the more you cycle through it, the closer you get to the center. And that's where we're heading. We're heading to the center, because you're not trying to be on the outside of this wheel spinning and spinning and spinning. You are trying to be right at the center, because the wheel is actually a portal. You don't want to stop on any of these things on the thing. You want to go right to the center, open that door, and hop out on the other side into a new reality altogether. That's the power that the Wheel of Fortune can truly offer, when you're ready for it, when you're patient enough for it. But until that happens, you go around and around, and you see all of these emotions again and again. And it feels like you are in a cycle, and it feels like you are trapped, but you know, because you're in tune, you're King of Cups. You're in tune with your emotions, you're in tune with your spirit team, you're talking, you are spiritually aware, you are awake to the point that you know you are not trapped. You are working through this. You are waiting for the right door to open. You're waiting for the door to open. There's only one, and you know that, and you're waiting on it. So you allow yourself to spin through these things, and you just keep going no matter how triggering it is. And that is something to be incredibly, incredibly proud of. I can't tell you when this is going to end. I don't know when it's going to end. I don't know when it's going to reach us. But you should be proud of the fact that you're keeping the faith, despite all of the triggers and temptations and challenges that come to take you off this path. You're not off this path. And that's also because you are supported, and you are not alone through any of these experiences. You are being supported because they want you to win. So we had the Devil come out, the Ace of Pentacles come out, the Page of Cups, Five of Pentacles, and now we are at the Eight of Wands. So like I said, a lot of repeating energy. That's just a part of this. You're just going through all these motions again, and everything's coming up. Like I said, from the bottom, everything's coming up. Everything's being let go. See, Queen of Pentacles, another repeating energy. Maybe when we see a new card, I mean, Eight of Wands is kind of new, but it came out over there. But we had the Eight of Wands, and now we have the Queen of Pentacles. It feels like something is trying to reach you. But I think it's also a matter of like skill and precision and good luck and the winds. There's so many factors that come into play when it comes to this news trying to reach you, when it comes to this opportunity trying to reach you. Eight of Wands is your spirit team is trying with you. It's not just you in this alone waiting for something to happen, waiting for the universe to burp out your manifestation. You know, your team is trying, and they're probably trying many different options and seeing which one is best. They're probably trying out many different spirit guides and seeing who's going to be able to deliver this in the best way possible, in the way that's most protected, in the way that there's no interference, no blockages, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to figure out the best way to get this to you, the best way for you to receive this, the way that it's safest for you to receive this, the way that is most effective for you to receive this, and that takes time as well, especially if it's something big, especially if it's something that needs to be protected, especially if it's something that's really meaningful. So, you know, you don't want them to rush on this because you don't want it to get hijacked or messed up. And we live in a crazy world. There's lots of energy swirling around that don't really have, that are neutral in terms of you and your path. So, you know, things can get in the way and it can just suddenly become a blockage, and it wasn't necessarily to sabotage you. There's just lots going on all the time. And so, you know, you have to be really, really specific and really stealthy with timing and with strategy and with the environment and so many different things. So you have to keep that in mind as well from your spirit team. There's a lot going on, and even from the people that you're meant to collaborate with in this life, because you know, your calling and your purpose and all these things, your mission is never something that's like a solo mission. You know, it's always going to involve other people. So all of them also have to be in perfect alignment to get this all done at this right time. And so there's a lot of collaboration going on. There's a lot of conversations going on. And when you can think about it on that big of a scale, it might be easier to understand that, oh shit, you know, this is not necessarily the easiest process in the world, trying to have this all come together. Even though when it happens, it'll feel like melted butter. But until then, you've got to try and have patience. And even if you don't feel very patient, that's fine. Even if you're irritated and annoyed, that's fine. But try and not project that onto your spirit team. Because just know that they're trying really hard for you. And that you're all trying really hard. You're all working really hard. And that's also why you want to be careful to not burn out, because, you know, that can happen. But yeah, I hope this is helpful. I know that it's, you know, it's things that we already know. Sometimes we just have to hear it again, not necessarily because we want to hear it again, but just simply because we have to hear it again. And yeah, like I said, I can't really tell you when things are gonna change. I just don't know. 10 of Cups, that's a new energy. I was thinking December, like celebratory energy, and 10 of Cups just makes me think about like the holidays and times with family, especially under the 5 of Pentacles. So 10 of Cups is a new energy. When we have the Knight of Cups again. Interesting. I feel like there's this... I feel like, well, okay, December, if you're watching this, like, right now, because it's November, it's interesting because it snowed today, so it, like, was really giving me holiday, like, Christmas vibes. If you're watching this, December could be a really interesting month because family could be really interesting. There could be, like, a tower moment, like, family-wise. This doesn't feel, like, traumatic and scary. It just feels, like, kind of intense and crazy, but also kind of funny, to be honest. And I feel like this offer or this opportunity, this good news, whatever, this information could come in while this destructive energy is, like, terrorizing your family. Terrorizing your family, terrorizing your home, whatever. Like, I feel like the tower, like, I feel like what the tower is in this sense is, like, your house is, like, on fire, and you guys are, like, arguing about, like, oh my god, you have to get this, grab this, blah, 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 blah. And then the Knight of Cups is, like, coming towards with this offer, and you're like, what the fuck? And you're trying to, like, balance it all. But it's, like, crazy and exhausting, but it's also when you receive this, because I do think you'll receive this, and also I feel like the Knight of Cups is also an escape from this tower. Like, I feel like the tower is going to come and it's going to strike down something that isn't actually you. It's just an aspect of your life that probably needed to go anyways. And it could be generational. It could be ancestral with the 10 of Cups. But it feels like the tower is going to come and it's going to strike down this aspect of your life that needed to go, that needed to get out anyways. And you're gonna like be running out the house with like all your shit, and you're gonna be like, oh my fucking god, and then like at the door is gonna be waiting this like this exit plan, this opportunity, and you're like, oh my god, and it's like perfect timing. And there's the 6 of Wands, and then the 2 of Cups, and the 4 of Swords, and finally you can sleep easy. Finally you can let your guard down. Finally you can relax. Because things are not what they once were. And I think that will just be so relieving. I think that will be so, so, so relieving to be able to do that. Yeah, this could happen while you're spending time with family or just during the holidays. Or it could happen while you're dealing with something ancestral. I don't know. Or this could just be speaking to an ancestral time in your life. Like, yeah. Because it just feels like that's when this harmony, this thing that you've been looking for, this joy, this community, this collaboration, this relationship is going to come in. And I think it's going to give you a chance to like, you know, relax. And I think you're going to need to. Like, I think as soon as this comes in, you might really have to take a break, because I think I mean, with the 4 of Swords and it's right under the tower, you just came out of 3 of Swords energy, tumultuous, crazy energy. And because of where you are, it might not take you down like that. So there's no need to freak out. But I do think you'll need rest. And then right after the 6 of Wands, under the 6 of Wands and beside the 4 of Swords, it's the 7 of Wands. So I think that's also because when you wake up and you're ready to pursue this, now here's where all that energy that you're holding right now needs to go towards. Because now it's time to be on your calling path. And when you're on your calling path and you really know what you're doing, that's when everything is like, oh, okay, she's here. Are we ready? Okay, let's challenge it. Let's blah, 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 blah. And yes, everything is working in your favor, but there's definitely challenges to a calling. So, you know, that's the 7 of Wands energy, where you have to defend this thing, not give up on this thing. Once you receive it and you're like, this is what I'm meant to do, you have to take it and not be afraid. I mean, you can be afraid, but not let the fear control you. You have to be brave. You have to stand your ground. There's probably so many things that are going to come up. And then you have Death energy. Death. I don't know. I just feel like you're going to feel revitalized. Like, I feel like this is going to feel like, I feel like this could be a very spiritually active time, and it's going to feel like the spirits are really speaking to you, and especially your ancestors. It could feel like your ancestors are really speaking to you, and it just feels like there's a celebration in the ancestral realm during this time. And so it's such tumultuous up and down energy, kind of like Knight of Swords, because there's so many highs and lows, but they're balanced. This is not like the extremes of life. It's just that there's a lot of good happening. And so, of course, on the other end of good is that other energy, but it's not really bad. It's just life happening. Life is really happening to you. Life is really happening for you. You're really alive. You're really coming to life in a way that, you know, is so meaningful, which is so exciting. So you just kind of need to allow yourself to be embraced in this. And I think that there's a lot of celebratory energy in the ancestral realms. It's probably, to be honest, already begun. Like, we're in a really holiday-rich season. Like, in Canada, in the beginning of October, it was Thanksgiving. Then it was Halloween. Then it was the Day of the Dead. Now American Thanksgiving is coming up. We've got Kwanzaa, we've got Hanukkah, we've got Christmas. Like, we've got, excuse me if I'm forgetting any holidays, but we're in a really holiday-rich season. So celebration is like a really big energy right now. And I think that that's also something happening in the ancestral realm. And I think the celebrations have probably already begun. Like, you know those cultures where like they celebrate for like 2 months? And like we just had Diwali. Didn't we just have Diwali, or Diwali's coming up? like, I feel like there's already celebrations beginning in the spiritual realm, which you probably are like, girl, I don't feel that way, which is totally fine. But yeah, I feel like there's probably celebrations already beginning. Then you have the Ace of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like where this energy is also coming from is this place of like understanding that this time when you receive this Ace of Pentacles, you're receiving it as the King of Pentacles, not the Page of Pentacles. You know how I was saying before, you feel like this novice, but you're not, and it can make you feel like a prima donna because you want this so bad, and you feel like you're dramatic, but you're not being dramatic. Like, this Ace of Pentacles is King of Pentacles energy. This Ace of Pentacles is going to get you to the King of Pentacles. So that's where that Seven of Wands comes in, where it's like, accept this challenge and accept the challenges that you're going to have within yourself in terms of feeling good enough and feeling like you can do this and all of these things, because of course you know you can, but of course as soon as you receive the thing, then you're like, wait, I don't know if I can do this. It's just like when you give birth and then you finally have the baby and then they send you home and you're like, are you sure you should send me home with this child? Like, I don't even know what to do. I've never done this before. It's that kind of energy, but it's in your bones. Like, this is what you're meant to do. So as you come across Five of Swords energy, which really could just be internal, but it could also be conflict with the energies that you're going to be collaborating with. Because you have to remember that if this is your calling path and it's in collaboration with others, and they're also answering their own callings. And that can be triggering for a lot of people, especially when you're now dealing with another energy and you had only been dealing with yourself up until now. To now have to share a calling, even though we all have our own individual callings, but of course there's collaboration. So to share that energy, especially spiritually, with somebody else can create a lot of conflict and can be very jarring and strange, and there can be a lot of weird things. There could be ego battles. There's probably going to be, like, you're probably going to have to, really give up the ego in this sense, in terms of not being like, this is all about, this is my ideas and blah, blah, blah. You're going to have to give up control and learn how to balance and compromise. And I think that will come, that will actually come pretty quickly. I think you'll have some really stark energy, and then I think you guys will get over it because you're just so happy to be where you are and to no longer be waiting around to know what you need to know. Now you know, and new awareness is always so alivening. It's like when you first awaken, it's terrifying, and you're like, oh, the huge long path I know that's ahead of me that I wish was actually going to be like 5 months is really probably 50 years and blah, 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 and it's never going to be ending. And all of that is terrifying, but it's also so incredible, and you just feel revitalized and rejuvenated, and it's just awesome. So we have the Eight of Wands following the Six of Pentacles. And I feel like from there on, your spirit team is also going to know the best way to send you your blessings, send you your information, send you your gifts. And so then you're probably going to start to receive a lot. I think from there on, you're just going to start receiving a lot of information. You'll probably be really on the go. That's when you're really going to start moving and really start working, and you'll have been prepared because you will have been under rest and support. And I think that this is something that's not going to be just about you. This is something that's going to change. Like, you are going to be able to offer and be generous with these blessings and with this information, with this good news, with this abundance, with whatever it is, with these opportunities. It's going to change the foundation of your family. And that's exactly why you have the Tower associated with the family before as well, because I think that there is this, like, there is something that is being broken down ancestrally. Like, something is just definitely coming to an end. And you are going to be seeing the fullness of that happening as you're really diving into this energy. So it's very exciting. And of course, there's going to be conflict. And of course, there's going to be struggles and all of these things. But it's nothing you can't get over. And again, you're going to be cycling through. The emotions that you felt before will come up again, but this time a very different vein of them, because now you have new knowledge, and it might come up with different people, and it might, all of these different things, but you have to keep remembering that your calling only expands, it only goes deeper. Once you receive the first note of your calling, like the first real information where you know what you're doing, that's only the first round. Then again, you're going to receive more information. So when the Wheel of Fortune comes around and you're spinning it, remember, you want to go through that portal door. You're not waiting for anything on the outside. There's nothing on the outside that's for you there, because there's nothing that something already knows about that can offer you. It's only something from within. So you always want to go through the portal door. So anything that's trying to trigger you into staying or sticking around in these certain things, remember that feeling that you have within. That's the only thing that can answer your calling. That's the only thing that can speak to your calling. And there might be a lot of fake and phonies that try to come up, but we don't need to worry about them, because you're not going to have the time to worry about them. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, we don't have the time to worry about them. So, that's the reading for today. Thank you so much for listening. Really hope you enjoyed it. And, yeah, good luck on your calling journey, and I'll see you guys around.